Hi, Fernando. Great job today. Great win. Doug Parrish here with Football Organically. I asked Coach Wilcox about this, but in terms of the tempo for the first beginning of the game, it seemed like you guys were just moving the ball a little bit, but there was some inconsistency there a little bit. But how did you feel about that?
Yeah, well, Mr. Parrish, always good seeing you. But second of all, especially in the first drive, because the second drive we scored, but the first drive, I put that on me. It was a little bit of anxiety for everybody. We've worked so hard. We've done so many walkthroughs that when the game came, it was a little bit of like nervousness. But then after that, we're like, hey, we do this. We're the better team. Respect to them, but we're the better team. We're a well-oiled offense. We're going to get this, and we're going to go and do tempo, and we're going to score. Because that's what our offense thrives off of. It thrives off of energy, passion, and tempo. So when we have the tempo, we can get the defense misaligned. All our offensive players are very sharp, can make their reads very quick. Therefore, we're able to move the ball quickly down the field and efficiently. Thank you.
On that fourth and 4 play early in the third quarter, were you surprised that you went for it, and how important was it to convert that?
Yeah, I guess I was very thankful for the opportunity. That's one where you're not really sure, but once the offense stayed on the field, I was very excited that Coach Wilcox had the faith in the offense, and then Mikey Matthews had an amazing route. I mean, he shook the guy right, came left. I just try to put it in his vicinity because he has amazing hands, and I know that if I just put it in the vicinity that Mikey was going to catch it and get the first down. So testament to him. Great blocking by the O-line to send pressure, and I didn't feel anything. So it was a great play, good momentum shift when the head ball coach, has faith in us to get those fourth downs.
Steve Croner from the San Francisco Chronicle. How are you?
Good seeing you, Mr. Croner.
Good seeing you, Mr. Mendoza. For the first time that I can remember, you alternated at QB with Chandler. One, did you know that going in that was going to be the case? And two, could you foresee that happening games 2, 3, 4 into the season?
Yeah. Coach Blesh, Coach Wilcox, Coach Gilbert, they're very transparent coaches. So they let us know prior to game day that we're going to be alternating in some type of way and fashion. They try to do it that wasn't every drive just because it's difficult to get a rhythm and flow. But that's like you said, I mean, it's more of a Coach Wilcox question. Whatever opportunity I get, I'm happy to be on the field, and I'm going to make the most of it. So whether I'm rotating, whether I'm the guy, whether if I'm not the guy, whatever I can do to help the team win, whatever opportunity I get, I'm going to make sure that I maximize it and help my teammates.
Jim McGill-Bear Insider. Fernando, what's the story with the Wyckoff jersey you got going there?
Yeah, always good seeing you, Jim. So it's a Wyckoff jersey. A lot of people don't know this, but he was banged up earlier in the week, and our starting center, Will McDonald, one of my best friends, he went down, unfortunately, and Wyckoff, although he was injured, stepped up to that starting role, and mid-game, he got injured or banged up a little bit, and he had the fortitude and mental toughness to come back in the game. And that's someone that doesn't get enough love, especially with all the O-line. We got Rush, TJ, we got Bastion, we got Nick, who battled through injury. We have all those guys, and I could go on and on about everybody else. But, yeah, I just want to show appreciation and support for him being able to battle through that injury. And whether it was major, which hopefully it wasn't, or minor, or whatever it shall be, it's just the mental fortitude that although we're up 20 points on UC Davis, that he still wants to be in there with us.
With a couple starting offensive linemen and a couple starting receivers out, did that contribute to sort of the disjointed nature of the offense today? You guys struggle to push the ball down the field consistently. Is it affecting your rhythm, kind of mixing and matching with guys that maybe are experienced, but you haven't played together much in fall camp?
Yeah, back when fall camp started, since Chandler and I, we were rotating and competing along with C.J. Harris and Belai Brummel and E.J., I got a lot of reps with every receiver group, which was a blessing looking back at it. And that is something that I was able to give a great connection with Isaiah Hunter, who started out at the threes, the start of fall camp, and now he was catching back shoulders down the field. He saved my butt on that shallow catch. So being able to have chemistry with those guys probably wasn't as much I've had with Tobias and Keon, truthfully, but I still have a ton of confidence in those guys, and I think it's more of just playing the game. We played against our guys so long, and having the game and being like, okay, we prepared 9 months. We're actually in the game now. It took us a little to settle in, but that momentum's going to carry through Auburn and onto the season, and we all feel very confident in each other.
Thomas Dunn, right, for California. Fernando, how do you personally self-sustain a rhythm knowing that you're going to actively be pulled from the game, not for performance reasons?
Yeah, that's a great question, Thomas. Also saw one of your friends tagged me in the burrito post.
Hey, it's good, man.
That's love. Yeah, like you said, that is a great question, and I think that, like you said, it's not ideal for either of us, but if it helps the team, I know we're both very open to it, and I think it's really staying engaged. I think, especially when you're in that situation, if you're on the sideline next to Coach Blesh, engaged in the offense and acting as if you were in at that moment, then mentally it allows you to still be in that moment. And yeah, I might need to get a couple extra throws on the sideline, but mentally, if I'm playing the game in my head next to Coach Blesh and next to Coach Gilbert, see what they're thinking, it's actually kind of good to take a step back sometimes and see what they're thinking mid-drive to kind of get their, just what they're thinking mid-drive in different situations. I usually am on the field for that. But, yeah, like I said, just mentally staying engaged and just supporting and leading my teammates.
Last question for Fernando here in the front.
Hey, Fernando, Emmanuel Macedo with the Daily Californian. I wanted to ask, we heard a little bit from Coach Wilcox about the work that's going to go into preparing for Auburn, crowd noise, being on the road in the heat. I wanted to ask you, what steps are you going to have to take to prepare for that contest?
Yeah, thank you. That's an amazing question. Auburn, I'm from Miami, Florida, and whenever I go back down from break, it's a lot more humid. And that's something we're going to get used to because although it was sunny today, it was still great. It was great weather. Great weather. Obviously, I play quarterback, so it's a little different, but I didn't break too much of a sweat. Like, I obviously sweated a lot, but not as if I would if we played in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So I think it's getting the extra conditioning after practice, pushing those guys and pushing my teammates to get the extra conditioning, although it might be hard, that one more lap around the field, that one more gasser, and mentally to have the confidence that we can go out against anybody and execute at a high level. It's a lot of learning tape for myself in this game, and that's something confident that we'll be able to fix. And now that we have something to watch against another team and their tendencies and how we work through the iPads in the game, the in-game communication with the helmet, and all the other variables, I think that we're going to be very prepared at Auburn and really excited to play them. Great fans, great team, and great overall atmosphere.
Thanks, Fernando.
Thank you, guys.